You gave me an opportunity to go against the grain. Many things were said at that time. Said I was an establishment candidate. I was going to vote for a ballpark. I was going to vote for the T Center. I was going to be the sixth vote up here on this commission for people to do what they needed to do in this city. 3 years later, I think what you've clearly seen is that I've been a clear advocate for this community. I've been a clear advocate for this city. And I've represented myself well, and I've represented this community well. After the first year of being on this commission, I was elected as Mayor Pro Tem for the Augusta Richmond County. That has never happened in the history of this government. A first-year commissioner being elected as Mayor Pro Tem went straight to the top. I thank my colleagues here who allowed that to happen, Commissioner Holland, Commissioner Joe Bowles, who saw something in me that I brought to the table that could bring people together and talk. What you saw 3 years ago was a complete mess. I inherited a mess when I came up into this position. I'm not afraid to tell you that I inherited a mess. We had to get some communications going up on this commission because, quite frankly, it was not there. You saw it for yourself. It was stalemated. It was 5-5. You had racial bickering. You had political stagnation. You had all those types of things going on, and nothing was getting done. I'm proud to say 3 years later that we have $300 million worth of projects going on here in Augusta, Richmond County. I'm proud to say that Judicial Center, which I took control of, made the motion to pass on that day that you had voted on that had been stagnant for 7 years, almost 10 years, that we've got that going and we're going to be breaking ground either later this year or the first part of next year. I'm glad to say that we've already broke ground and opened up on the library. I'm also glad to say that you said that you didn't want someone to go up and do a bunch of abstaining and walking out. I have abstained one time, and that's because at that point I lived in Pinnacle Place, and there was a conflict of interest in my mind. Although there wasn't a financial conflict of interest, I took myself out of that equation. But what you see now on the corner of Pinnacle Place in the subdivision is a beautiful law office, whereas before we had a mess going on right there at that corner. So we've corrected that. We didn't have any plan at all for South Augusta in terms of growth. This is nothing that was happening. This happened before I got up there. Not a single plan addressed the growth in South Augusta. How can you bring some businesses in? How can you bring the types of things that we need here in South Augusta if you don't have a plan? You can complain about the plan that we have in place, but you didn't have a plan at all before. So there's nothing that was done for South Augusta in terms of planning. We now have a plan in place. Is it a perfect plan? It may not be a perfect plan, but it is a plan. You see a lot of things coming and happening downtown. Why? Because they had a plan. It wasn't a perfect plan, but that's where you see the money going now, because they had put a plan together. So with my help and the help of my colleagues, we got together a plan that addresses some of the needs out here in South Augusta, and you're going to see some of those things happening as well. There's so many things that I can say in terms of personal achievements. I hold the record now in Richmond County for being the certified commissioner. I got my certification in commission training in 16 months, in my first 16 months of being on this job. What does that mean? That means I've gone above and beyond to make sure that I can represent you in the way that you need to be represented. Why? Because my campaign has always been about accountability. Without accountability, without responsibility, you have no credibility. I have assisted in bringing credibility to this commission, thanks to your support and your belief in me. I'm not a community activist. Let me make sure that I say that. I'm not a community activist. But I wonder where were the community activists when we had a commissioner that didn't even qualify for the seat. But I'm the only one standing up to say you're wrong and we need to put somebody in this seat that will represent us, that lives out here. I didn't see any community activists standing up during that particular time. I'm not a community activist. I'm a commissioner, and I do the business of the commission. I have the educational background, I have the business background, and I have the commission experience. It's not time for play. We're in serious business here. What I've had to do is establish a foundation and get some credibility and communications with our commissioners. You're seeing now this commission is talking, we're eating together, and we're understanding each other so that we can make better decisions as we move forward. I'm going to go by and say this. At the end of the day, you're going to make a decision on November 2nd. Mr. Mason's going to be fine with whatever decision that you make. You'll still see me. I don't go run and hide. I am who I am. On November 2nd, continue the path forward that we've already started, the groundwork that we've laid, and let's get this thing finished so that projects like Morgan Road, which were pushed to the side, we have now brought to the forefront, and we're getting things done. Alvin Mason, November 2nd, re-elect for commissioner of this district. Thank you very much.